Hello, family of faith. Welcome to the Daily Connection. I'm David Turner, Connect Group Leader here at First Baptist Church of Van Cleve. And today we are continuing reading through the Word of God this year using the One Year Chronological Bible. Today we are looking at Ecclesiastes, and we're starting with chapter 7 and going through chapter 11. And there are a couple of things I'd like to point out to you on these just for consideration. As we look at Ecclesiastes chapter 7, we see the wisdom and folly are contrasted. What's the difference between wisdom and folly? In Ecclesiastes 8, we are told to obey rulers. Remember, even Paul tells us that. The New Testament in the letters that were written to the church tell us that we are to respect the rulers. Jesus said, hey, they asked him about taxes, and he said, look at a coin. Whose picture's on that? They said, well, Caesar's picture's on it. He said, okay, give to Caesar what is due Caesar, and give unto God what is due God. Ecclesiastes 9 tells us, number one, that men are in the hand of God. We're not in control. God is in control. But at the same time, we get to verse 10, and it says, whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might. For there is no activity or planning or knowledge or wisdom in Sheol where you are going. And Sheol was sort of the dead end of everything. Once you died, you went to Sheol. And there would be no more doing as you had done here on earth. You would not have the opportunity to be active in planning and knowledge, and all of this would be lost, according to the writer of Ecclesiastes. That's from a very worldly perspective at this point. And Sheol, that's the abode of the dead in early Hebrew thought. Just in case you were wondering, according to Webster's. Then we get into Ecclesiastes chapter 10. Talks about foolishness. Verse 2, a wise man's heart directs him toward the right, and the foolish man's heart directs him toward the left. Even when the fool walks down along the road, his sense is lacking, and he demonstrates to everyone that he is a fool. Now, reference note from Dr. MacArthur's study Bible about the fool walks in darkness. This fool is not one who is mentally deficient, but this fool is one who is morally bankrupt. It is not that he cannot learn wisdom, but that he won't. He refuses to know, fear, and obey God. That's the fool. Then we look at Ecclesiastes 11. And we have another verse. Cast your bread on the surface of the waters, for you will find it after many days. Divide your portion to 7, even to 8, for you do not know what misfortune may occur on the earth. Say what? According to Dr. MacArthur, cast your bread. Take a calculated and wise step forward in life. Like a farmer who throws his seed on the wet, marshy ground and waits for it to grow. He knows he's going to get a return for having broadcast the seed. That's how we are to plan our lives from the perspective of God's direction. Verse 2, where it says, divide your portion. Dr. MacArthur says, be generous while there is plenty, and make friends while the time remains, because one never knows when he might need them to return the favor. Is this common sense? I believe it is. But then again, I'm reminded of Psalms chapter 1, verses 2 and 3, when it speaks of the wise man. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. That's a promise from God at the very beginning of the book of Psalms. And it matches what we see here about casting your bread upon the water and dividing your portions. We need to live according to God's plan, according to God's will. And let us focus today on that, because it's all about Jesus. That's what we're to be about, to tell a lost world the good news of Jesus Christ. Let us live sent.